Everybody, welcome back to the Laughing Dragon MXP San Francisco Modern 20K Open. I'm Tanner Grace. I'm joined by Noah. Noah, we had a great round one. We've got a couple matches here set up for round two, and we're gonna have some new cards from Thunder Junction on the block here. But it looks like we're gonna have Esper Goryos on Anthony Lundquist here, and then Cameron's playing Domain Rhinos. But on the Esper side, we have a card that I know you're a fan of. That's Satoro.
Toro was such a nice one. Yeah, just looking at this Esper Reanimator deck that's been kind of making its way to the top of Modern. I thought that Satoru might kind of fit in pretty well. Like it's already a grief scam, in quotes deck,
Mhm.
for lack of a better term. Grief Emerate deck, and then you also just have just like random Goryo's value with the Atraxas and Grizzlebrands and stuff. So yes, I'm not too surprised to see Satoru here, and I'm kind of excited to see how well it really fares in the show.
Yeah, getting you a little bit of card advantage back off of stuff like Grief and Solitude and putting your Atraxas into play. I mean, I don't think you really need any extra value added to Atraxa, but anything added to Grief and Solitude is welcome, right? And this kind of reminds me, you and I are both old heads when it comes to Magic. We played a lot of Legacy. It kind of reminds me of like the Force of Will thing. It's like, how bad can a blue card be that you put in your deck because it does still pitch to Force of Will? And if it's a card that pitches to one of your elementals and it does something decently powerful in your deck, then hey, why not try it out? Just
Totally, I think that's a really good point, Dan. And being able to just like pitch Satoru when it's bad to a grief, and then also being able to just have it be something good for you to play on the early turns to kind of recuperate some value.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we're gonna have Domain Rhinos on the other side, kind of a deck that has been taking Modern by storm here over the last few months. With the new ley line being as powerful as it is, along with the Rhino shell, even with a banning happening, this deck still pretty damn good.
How wild is it that this Domain Rhinos deck is still popular or like even like strong without the help of one of the most important cascade spells in the deck. Like not no longer having access to an instant cascade spell in your deck is a huge difference.
Yeah, I think it just shows you how powerful the deck is overall, right? Like how powerful the strategy is. And I think it just shows you how different Modern is now than it was a few years ago with, so many quote unquote free spells. You have like the pitch elementals, you have like we have what, four different ones in this matchup. I think we have everyone but Fury because that one's banned. So I think we have all four
Yeah,
of
all of
the
them,
yeah,
all of
we're
them
gonna have all of
coming
them in this match. Yeah, exactly. Besides the banned one. And then there's even other cards as well. They're gonna be free. We got Force of Negation. You could see Force of Vigor, things like that. And I mean, you see Surgical Extraction on the side of the Esper Reanimator deck in the sideboard. You have so many cards here that you don't actually have to spend mana on to play, that these decks' power levels have just gone through the roof in the last few years.
in. Totally.
All right, turn one, Cameron, starting off with one of the best starts. Gonna go ahead and put a Crashing Footfalls, put that 4 counter on it. It'll be here in just a few turns. Anthony keeping the top card off his surveil land here. That's going to be a little bit scary as well for Cameron, but not giving away exactly what he's playing against yet as well here. So just land pass again for Cameron here. Both these players developing their mana bases. First person to do anything impactful here. Looks like it's going to be Anthony's going to shock off of a Watery Grave. How do you feel about these new Watery Graves, these new retro shock lands? I'm a big fan, Noah.
They look kind of hot. I mean, I've always been a fan of like older stuff, so
Hmm.
like kind of taking it like both ways, like like old foil style, like kind of like strange, like this similar art, but like darkened. They're cool. I like them.
Yeah. Looks like I have a grief here, pitching a Tainted Indulgence. Going to be the first play of the game here for Anthony, and we'll see just how long some of the stuff's going to go in, or if this group's going to go into play. It looks like he's going to meet a Subtlety, so we've got pitching going on both sides here. So Subtlety's going to return the grief, and it looks like it's going to go to the bottom of the library for Anthony Lundquist here. He's going to follow this up with the Archaeologist. Let's see if he mills anything impactful here. That is a Gristlebrand going into the graveyard, and along with 2 lands. I think those are the white black surveil lands that got into the graveyard there as well. Pass back over to Domain Rhino. Is going to put that Crashing Footballs down to 2. And here into turns 2 and 3, these are where these decks really start to get going. But it looks like Cameron's going to be content with just surveilling yet again.
That might be a Goryo's that I see in Anthony's script too. If it is, I think this game is pretty much finished up right here.
Yeah, this is going to be a very powerful impact
Oh, it's
there.
probably
Maybe
not.
not with the attack immediately from the Arcology. I do see Goryo's in there, and yeah, I think he's going to slow
Oh,
roll
end of
this just a little
turn.
bit.
Ooh, he's going for max value.
Yeah, maybe worried about something like Force of Negation as well, so he's going to do it possibly on Cameron's turn.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, little island cycling from Cameron over. You're going to find his fourth mana source here. Absolutely love the land cyclers from the Lord of the Rings set. These cards are super cool, in my opinion. I love these cards. So you're gonna just find a basic island, and it looks like it's just gonna be a pass from Cameron here as well. He does have the Force Negation, and now he can actually cast it here as well against Anthony. Whatever Anthony was maybe supposed to, if he was thinking about doing the Glorious Vengeance on Cameron's turn, maybe he's supposed to cast it in response to the island cycling.
It's a tough little game there because
Yeah.
if you cast it in response, right, then you don't get the Grizzlebrand for your turn, so you're just getting the draw 7 off the Grizzlebrand, which is probably just good enough for him to win the game anyway. So I wouldn't have hated that play if he had
Mhm.
responded to the island cycling with the Goryos.
Yeah, maybe something he'll look back on and wonder. You might be right. Like maybe you're just supposed to do it at the end of turn, no matter what here, and just hope your deck coughs up a land at some point in time here. And it's not like the game is immediately over. I see a Solitude and Anthony's stance. We can buy at least a decent bit of time here. Cameron goes ahead and makes those Rhinos this turn, plays his fifth land. Looks like he's passing back over. So it does look like a Solitude is going to happen here, pitching one of those Atraxas out of Cameron's hand. And we have an Ephemerate here as well. That was hiding out. This is pretty damn powerful here. This is a good way to interact with all these. Looks like a Leyline's going to go ahead and take care of that Solitude in response. The Ephemerates, that's not going to happen. One of these Rhinos is going to be left around.
It's a bit rough for Anthony. I mean, the trade is still like relatively decent for him. Like, now that the board's at parity, he's in a pretty decent spot. I think as the game goes on, Anthony's deck is probably like a little bit favored. He's got much more power, and he's a little less worried about just like ending the game necessarily. If he feels like if the game can go on a long time, he'll eventually accrue some value with these huge monsters and get one into play.
Yep. Looks like we're going to have our first cascade of the match here, and Cameron's going to go ahead and have that Charles Agent's going to hit a Rhinos every single time with the way this deck's constructed. So it looks like those Rhinos that were gone for the last turn are going to come back, and 10 power added to Cameron's side of the board here for just 3 mana. Again, showing you why the modern format has become just so powerful here over the last couple of years. Modern Horizons really ramped this format up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely found his third land here as well. Finally found a third land, though it does come into play tapped. Does a little bit of a surveil. Wonder if it's going to stay at the top or bottom. Looks like it's a hard decision for Anthony, but it does look like it's going to stay at the top yet again.
So I'm wondering what card Anthony would want to keep on top in this scenario, given that his hand is Satoru and Atraxa. So what are his best draws here? Maybe Faith Mending would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I think something along there, yeah.
Tainted Indulgence also decent. I mean, there's not too many other cards in his deck that he could like draw here and have actually be too impactful.
The other mode of this card here to go ahead and draw 3. And this is pretty sweet here too. He drew a Leyline this late in the game, which is generally, something you want this in your opening hand, but at least it can still be pitched to this Force of Negation that he found as well. So very good draw here for Cameron off the draw 3. So Satoru is going to get played here. Anthony Lucas fight total is actually here. It looks like we're going to have another Solitude. You're going to take care of one of these Rhinos, I'm guessing, off of this. It's also going to trigger the Satoru. First time we're getting to see this, Noah. This looks pretty good.
Satoru value.
So since no mana was spent to cast this Solitude, he's going to draw a card off the Satoru.
Yeah, 19.
It doesn't take much to get me to play a ninja or blue-black creatures in Magic, Noah, so I'm excited to see this card showing up.
I'm right there with you.
I was going to say, Ninja the Deep Hour is one of my favorite creatures of all time, so getting a second card off that one, if I got a Satoru in play, sign me up.
It does sound like Value Town. I mean, Ninja Deep Hour is like, what a classic card.
Yeah, huge fan of that one.
I mean, you got a nice deck. Like, just thinking about what we got some Ornithopters, we got some Ninja Deep Hours, Sataru. Like, the value's there.
I mean, you're playing some bad cards overall by themselves, but yeah, the value is definitely there. It looks like we got a Scion of Draco here as a top deck for Cameron as well. Another good one for him. Keep the pressure up really hard on Anthony. Anthony's going to go ahead and sacrifice his Marsh Flats at the end of turn. I wonder if he has another Surveil land left in his deck. I have to think there's a few more left. Look. There's 3 of them in play. I wonder if he has 4.
Wait, he just has 2 in play, right? Because one's a Water Grave?
Oh, you're right. One is a Water Grave. So I think there should be 1 left in the deck if Marsh Flats can get it. Yep, there it is. If you think about the cards that were left on top, it looks like it was a Solitude that was left on top from Anthony last time. And you see why. You know, it's Taru letting him get some card advantage back off of pitching to that card to take care of some of these creatures on the board. It looks like he's going to surveil that one into the graveyard.
Yeah, Anthony's going to need a nice string of cards here, especially with Cameron having this Force Negation in hand. Like, Anthony just needs, like, only bangers every turn.
Tainted Indulgence here, and I wonder if this is just a straight draw for him here, is to have, I think, 5 different mana values, so I think he might have that.
That's what we draw too.
It does look is going to get met by that Force of Negation, and that's going to be enough for Cameron to win game 1 here. A little bit of a reactive start from Cameron, but top of the deck was really kind, and he got stuff done, and you can see the power of this deck, just, you know, these Rhinos early in the game, and then into any kind of interaction is quite hard to deal with.
Yeah, just a tough one there for Anthony. It's like that one turn, I think changed the entire game. Like not just casting the Goryos in response to the land cycling, just like getting, if he gets the draw 7 off, like I just think he gets like more than enough resources, like can discard some creatures, like have set up another Goryos. Like I think the game just ends.
Yeah, you can kind of see it in the hesitancy of him casting the spell there, right? Like, should I cast this Goryos now or not? Like, because here's the thing. Sitting in that, it's easy to say that for us, like, watching back here. Like, we know the Force of Negation's there. But, like, it seemed like the way he was playing it, he was playing around Force of Negation. It's really close. And then I've been in the seat before in that spot where, you know, they do something like crack a fetch land or island cycle a card. And you're just like, you're just so used to being like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And you realize it, like, immediately afterwards, you're like, oh, no, that's not fine. Like,
you're like that was my window right there. Yeah, exactly. It's tough sometimes, you know, especially like I'm sure in Anthony's head, right? He's overthinking, like, yeah, like I need to wait until end of turn, get my max value. Like he's so used to these play patterns where the most value that he's going to get out of his cards is waiting on them as long as possible. So he was kind of like, it seemed like he just kind of almost went into like, yeah, like I've already signed up for like not casting it on my main phase. Like I know, like I need to cast the Goryos end step. So
no, 100%, like 100% agree with you. And I'm right there with you. I think just paying 7, drawing 7 there, I think was probably the best way for him to be in this game. Because at the time, his hand was pretty bad. You know, like he wasn't going to be able to cast much. He needed the top of his deck to really cooperate to stay in the game. And he put up a valiant effort after that. So I wonder if he just has those 7 cards there, like afterwards, like what kind of happens. Also, he would have like drawn into a Solitude, and you could like maybe even Solitude your own Crystal Brand, you know, to get some of the life back.
Ooh, that's a nice combo that I didn't think about. You could even draw another 7 response or whatever, right? Just go down to 4, like back up to 11, build like a ginormous grip. That's actually kind of fire.
Yeah, then like you get to untap, play some stuff, and then discard the hand size. You get to discard, you know, your leftover Atraxas and stuff like that because it's game 1. You don't have to worry about like endurance and stuff. So like, yeah, I mean there was a lot of options there. Again, way easier to say that when, you know, we have all the information and we're sitting from a bird's eye view. But, you know, not all's lost. That's only one game of the 2.
There's certainly much more magic to be played here in this match. I think it just seems like a generally pretty close matchup. Like I think just like both decks, like if they do their thing, easily take over the game. So I'm excited to see, you know, how this next game goes. I think that, like, I would say that these are 2 of the decks in the format that have been, like, at one point or another, like, the top deck, you know, Esper Animator kind of being, like, the new hotness, like, the thing to be doing right now. and then the Domain Rhinos deck of being like, you know, of like the last format, like the deck.
Yeah, like these are the litmus tests, right? Like if you're going to be playing a new deck or a different deck in this format, you need to be able to keep these two. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, taking a look at the sideboard here for the players over on the Cameron side for Domain Rhinos. He's got more endurance than the sideboard now. I think that's going to come into play just a little bit here in this matchup as well.
Endurances will be great. The Mystical Disputes also probably pretty decent. They're not insane here. There's not too many blue cards in the deck, but might be worth it. Like even just as a clean answer for the Faithful Mendings and the Tainted Indulgences, it like honestly just sounds fine to me.
Also, I mean, with the way you're going to play the game out too, like you're going to be leaning on endurance and force negation in these cards and subtleties so much that like just having another card you can play with your mana that you're might not be bad as well.
Yeah, totally.
I definitely can see that. There's 2 Blood Moon in the sideboard for Cameron as well. Is that something you want to be like trying to steal a game, or something like if you're going to think about it maybe only on the play and not on the draw?
It does seem much better to me on the play than the draw. But I mean, it's probably fine in general, right? Like Anthony's deck can be a little bit slower, and like kind of punishing his mana base and making him fetch up these basic lands when we can see that like Anthony's general. I mean, it's hard to base his general game plan off of one game, but it did seem like really easy for him to want to be fetching up like the Meticulous Archive and the Lush Portisco and the Sewers in game 1. So I think that it's definitely powerful in the matchup. The question is, you know, like you said, Tenon, if it's a play versus draw thing, if there's enough cards that you even have in your deck as Cameron that you want to take out. Like, just looking at these lists, I think there's not too many moving pieces as far as, like, cards you want to take out in matchups, right? Like, yeah, you can cut some Fire Ices. The Questing Beast can probably be cut when you think it's not that good. Other than that, it's like, maybe some Leyline Bindings get shaved. Every other card in the deck, like, you basically never take out. Like, maybe Subtleties you can cut, but, like, you're never cutting Charlotte's Agents. You're never cutting Scion or Dracos. You're never cutting, you know, like Force Negations, or maybe you will. But like, it just seems to me like there's a lot of cards that you just don't want to be taking out, and your deck just like is a deck that wants to be doing very similar things every game.
Yeah, speaking of doing similar things, that's going to be the second mulligan for Cameron here. I think that hand was 5 lands, Leyline, and Shardless Agent. So just no interaction and nothing for the first few turns of the game. That's not going to be quick enough to keep up with this Goryo's Vengeance deck that can do very broken things as soon as turn 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see if this 5 is going to be a little bit better for Cameron. Does get to look at 7 here and pick a very good 5. These decks mulligan quite well. This one has an endurance in it, so this is a much more keepable 5 here. Plus, it's got a Crashing Footfalls as well. Looks like one of the agents and the Scion are going to go to the bottom here.
Yeah, I mean, this hand's quite good.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be a pretty good 5. He's got an extra green card here to keep up the endurance for worst case scenarios and be able to suspend a Crashing Footfalls on 1. Yeah, I like this hand. Double checking, doing some math here for Cameron. Don't mind that. Your time. We'll take off with a Surveil here from Anthony Lundquist. And it'll take a little bit of time to decide. Looks like he's going to put that one into the yard. His Faithful Mending doesn't need it, but also has flashback. A little bit of extra value there.
Max value right there.
Yeah. As I'll say, I'm a big fan of Surveil lands. I love flashback. It's probably one of my favorite abilities of all time. So anytime I can do that, I get a little happy. So I love that kind of stuff. Over at Cameron's side, looks like we're going to have a Flooded Strand crack into a Temple Garden. And I'm assuming that Crashing Footfall is going to get suspended here. We're going to be moving back over to Anthony's way here. Yep. Force of Negation is well picked up for Cameron here. So not a bad top deck for him as this game goes on.
About as good as you could ask for a multi-5 on the draw.
Yeah, this is a really good multi-5 from Cameron, and Anthony Lundquist is going to go ahead and play. I believe that's a Pluto Delta. Pass back over to Cameron. Yeah, that's a Pluto Delta. Hardest part of my job, Noah, keeping up with the 17 different arts in some of these cards.
It's not an easy part. Not an easy part.
Looks like also fetch and pass, play a fetch land and pass for Cameron here as well. If he's go ahead and crack that blue to Delta. See if he wants to go ahead and fire off one of these draw spells in his deck, or if he's just going to go ahead and be content to go to turn 3. Whatever land he gets here is going to be telling, but it looks like he's going for a Surveil land here to me, and he is. For the black-white Surveil land here. I do like that they play the green-white Surveil land here in the Esper deck, just so if worst-case scenario happens, they could just cast a Traxa late in the game.
Yeah, I don't mind it, honestly. Seems like a decent fallback.
Looks like turn 3 is going to be a lot of play lands and pass here for these players. But that Faithful Mending sitting around in Anthony's graveyard that we've seen, ready to get some value. I see the Traxa. I see a Goryo's Vengeance. I see a Teferi 3 in Anthony's hand as well. So just he's set up to play a decent game here. Hammer cracked down to 16 here, went ahead and got a Tri-land. Picked up another copy of Charlotte's Agent here. I don't think he doesn't have the third land here, so it's going to allow him to play the Scion, but again, another blue and green card in his hand, so now he has access to both Endurance and Force of Negation whenever he wants it here. Turn Faithful Mending here for Anthony. He's going to get 2 cards in his hand. He picks up a Crystal Brand and a Grief. Lots of different cool targets for him here. It looks like he's going to be pretty careful to protect his graveyard here. Oh, never mind, he's changing his mind a little bit here. Looks like Crystal Brand. And I think it's Solitude. Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, if you're Anthony, you kind of have to get down this Teferi before you go for the
any of the recursion.
Animator, yeah, because I mean, you could like we were talking about last game, like you could just pass and then like maybe upkeep, bring back the Grizzle Brand, like for example, like draw 7 or something like that. But I think he's trying to set up for something a little bit juicier. But also, he does have this Grief as well, so he could kind of like check, see if the coast is clear.
So, yeah, he's got a lot of options here. He's got the Grief here as well. He also has touched the Spirit Realm in his hand, which for 2 mana he can channel it, and if he does something like Goryo's Vengeance, a creature out, and the coast is clear, he can actually touch this. Does such Spirit Realm hit your own stuff? I can't remember if it's just your opponent's. But
yeah, it's anything.
Yeah, so then you can make sure the creature comes back, because it'll be a new version of that creature, and it'll stay in play. So here we go. Here's that play you're talking about. Looks like Grief, pitching Grief here. Keeps the borderless one in play. I like that. You're gonna get the cooler one. Looks like the Force of Negation is going to get answered here, and if he could play around this Endurance, it looks like everything's a go here. But it looks like, yeah, Anthony's just going to go ahead and... Oh, there we go. Here comes the Teferi that you're talking about. So here's set up for that play. He's going to bounce the Scion and draw a card.
I mean, Teferi is just so brutal here. Like, it shuts off Cameron's entire hand, more or less.
Yeah, he's going to have to play at sorcery speed here for the rest of the game.
Like, also, not being able to cascade anything, not being able to, like...
Stop the footfalls that's becoming out next turn as well.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Again, no third land from Cameron here. So we talked about how good this Moldify was. It's just a third land would allow Cameron to at least play this game a little bit here. And if he wants to Endurance, it looks like he's going to have to do it now.
I think have to, if you're Cameron. I don't really understand how you can wait. Even though like you're not getting very much value out of your Endurance, it doesn't make sense to do this.
He's going to go ahead and shuffle these cards back into his deck here. Cracking this Marshflex. Or maybe one of those last little surveillance left over. Yep, there we go. There's the blue black one. A little bit of extra value here. If he mills over one of his giant creatures here, we're going to see a very explosive turn, and then we're going to see a game 3 very quickly after that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, the game is looking kind of rough either way. The Teferi was just a ginormous tempo swing, like shutting off the Scratching Footballs coming down next turn, protecting the way, you know, making Cameron just Endurance main phase so huge. Because now, even once the Teferi dies, you don't have to worry about Cameron having that Endurance in hand. It's like...
So It does look like we're going to have Touch of Spell or take care of the Scion and Draco here. Just to make sure this Teferi sticks around. I think that's the most important thing because it doesn't look like Anthony has any way to get more creatures in his graveyard. I think I saw an Atraxa, a Crystal Brand, a Sataru, and I think a Goryo's Vengeance was his 4-card hand.
Yeah, I think so too.
Cameron find land number 3? He does, but it's a coming to play tap land. So I'm going to be able to play the Scion of Draco though, at least. Maybe threaten this Teferi if this game keeps going badly for Anthony. He has no way to get these creatures into play.
Crashing Footfall, it just stays in exile? Or...
Yeah, the rule has changed on it recently. I think it just stays in exile now. Like, you don't have to cast it. I'm trying to remember. The rule changed. I remember reading it, but it was a few months ago, and I haven't read it since.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't seen it come up since. So,
yeah.
I think it just stays in exile.
I mean, I guess it's like functionally the same thing as it trying to get cast and going to your graveyard. So.
Yeah. Is this a faithful mending? So.
That would be a general message.
Yeah, oh, it looks all right. Tainted Indulgence, okay.
Really strong.
And he is going to be able to pitch a card here, which is actually good for him.
Yes.
Like he doesn't have the 5-card cards. So like, there we go. There's Atraxa, and
yeah, Goryo's Atraxa. I don't think he has it. He might even just wait, just max greed value, just block the Scion. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, because if you're gamer, you just have to attack Scion, and you know it's about to happen or whatever. And he's like, yep. Yeah, I know this is about to happen, but nothing I can do here. Teferi makes this very difficult to, impossible to even play around.
You wouldn't believe how many times I lived yesterday.
Oh, no, we see another nice new one
right.
there. That's a pest control.
Ooh, pest control.
That's a nice way to take care of some Rhinos.
I mean,
Can even randomly hit some hate spells out of some decks too. Not too many of them get played anymore, but
control is a juicy card.
You gained 7?
yeah, another one of those new ones from Thunder Junction here. This little black-white sorcery destroys all non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less, and then hey, if it's not very good, you can cycle it. So that one is one of the couple cards added to Anthony's hand. Looks like he's going to go ahead and ephemerate the Atraxa, so we're going to do this all over again after getting the block in. Anthony at 27, he's going to have the sickest grip you've ever seen after all this. And Cameron's a trooper. Cameron's sticking it out, maybe trying to get all the information. Let me see all the cards that are in your deck.
Fair. I mean, I would probably be packing it up, saving some mental energy for the next game.
I'd be sideboarding right now. There we go. Look, hey, I don't mind this from Cameron at all. Not saying that you have to concede, but like, can you at least see all the cards?
Yeah. Get the knowledge, and then
it's free, right?
And then out of here.
Yeah. Man of the people over here, Cameron is. He's gonna get all the information, and he's like, hey, you know what? I value your time and my time. Let's go ahead and move on.
So is Atraxa, but
I wonder if the players go back to the sideboard as well. You know, we talked about, Blood Moon would have been really, really good that game. Cameron would have completely shut Anthony Lundquist out of the game. But like you said, I wonder if there's room in the deck for it, because it doesn't seem like a great top deck if you're like remotely behind in some of the games and some of the spots. But it can be quite the haymaker in this matchup.
I think if it's coming in, this is certainly the game that it comes in right on the play.
Right.
You know, you can kind of plan for it a little better. The only thing about it is, when you look at this Domain Rhinos build, the mana base is a little suspect. So like, unless you just have a ley line, like resolving a Blood Moon is like a non-trivial thing to ask for, right? It's not like it's just so easy to just cast a Blood Moon and then have your mana base working without a ley line.
Yeah, take a look at it. See what
But I can see it being good enough here, especially on the play. Like, I think, you know, if you're carrying it differently, you can certainly find some cards that are really interesting out of your deck. And I just think against Cameron's deck, it's kind of lights out. Like, or sorry, against Anthony's deck. Like, yeah, he has the basic island, the basic swamp, and the basic plains, but if he's not aggressively searching this up, like resolving a turn 3 Blood Moon and probably just end the game if you're Cameron. So
As someone who has scooped the Blood Moon being played on me many times in my life, I was about to say I'm very aware of like, I'm always aware of like the matchups where if it happens on turn 3, the game might just end, and that's generally if I'm on the other end, like the player with the Blood Moon, I'm willing to take that risk a lot of the time because of the fact that, like you said, it might just be game over when you play it. So like just getting freebies here or there would be pretty nice sometimes, but yeah, I know we're going pretty deep on the Blood Moon rhetoric here, but like, it just, I wondered if it gets fit in there or not. I don't think I saw Cameron go back to the sideboard, so if it wasn't in there for game 2, I don't think it's going to be in there for game 3.
Yeah, that is a fair assessment of the situation. I mean, maybe Cameron just decided like maybe there's a very specific matchup that he wants Blood Moon, and this is not the one.
Yeah, and like you said, we saw his opening 5 in that game looked pretty damn good, right? We had like force negations, we had endurances, all that kind of stuff. And, this deck gets a lot better with this turn 1 ley line on the play. Yeah, he doesn't have the crushing footfalls like he's had every single game, but I see multiple scions in his hand. This is one of the most powerful openings in Modern here. We've got a ley line in for turn 0 for Cameron to go ahead and crack that fetch land, and we're going to be off to the races here on turn 2 for the domain Rhinos now.
This is our first, turn 1 ley line, or turn 0 ley line, I should say, of the tournament. And of course, it's backed up by, just tons of fucking Scion Dracos. So that is quite exactly what you're looking for if you're Cameron.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and get a little value off the land here. Yeah, second ley line.
Ooh, a dirty one.
Cameron's hand pretty good here. Lorien revealed, double Scion, Charles Agent, and I believe a ley line there. Don't even have to crack the fetches here either. Just tap them for mana. Play the Scion and Draco here on turn 2. It's got a buddy possibly on turn 3 unless he wants to add a bunch of Rhinos as well. If he finds that third mana source, though, Lorien revealed to be able to find it, so maybe next turn he'll be able to find a certain land drop and play another Scion and Draco that plays around pest control quite a bit as well.
Yeah, that's probably the best play for Cameron here. Just making sure to have the extra mana source and then also applying another Scion sounds quite good. Anthony, though, he's not in a horrible spot. Yeah, we're looking at how this game is going and thinking how good things are looking for Cameron, which they totally are. But if you look at Cameron's hand, he doesn't have very much interaction. So if Anthony is able to,
you spoke too soon.
Okay. Never mind.
So the sequence is going to be interesting here. I think we're still going to see the play like you said. There's a blue card left over. If Lorien reveal gets pitched for a land here, so you'll be able to add the second Scion and hold up force negation. Absolutely perfect top deck for Cameron here now.
Yep, totally. I mean that. Yeah, I was just in the middle of talking about how oh, it's not looking too bad for Anthony. Like Cameron doesn't have any interaction, and then he just picks up the best possible draw. So now the game is looking very, very, very tough for Anthony. It's so hard for him to win the game without it being on the back of some non-creature spells. And Cameron just has so much pressure this game.
Yeah, there's going to be even more pressure during this turn as well. Like the second Scion is going to be practically threatening lethal. Value instead here off of the Surveil trigger. Let's go to the standard top. Got a choice. Looks like this crashing footfalls is. Oh, he's changed his mind, I think, halfway through. Wry smile by Cameron here.
Wait, why would I want to draw footfalls? Does he have a endurance in hand? No, right?
No, I think it was Shardless Agent was the green card. So tainted Indulgence here at the end of turn for Anthony. It's going to be a draw to discard.
The thing is, that is exactly what you need if you're Anthony. And then, let's say if Anthony has the grief here, the game could still just be over. But he actually needs the grief this time.
Yeah, Goryo's Vengeance alone is not going to get it done here. Let's see what Anthony's cooking up with. Third land, Marsh Flats added here for Anthony. Don't know if he's got the grief here the way this is going. Looks like, yeah, it's just going to be a pass. So maybe he's going to try to do the play that he made in game 2 where he's going to try to possibly block with this attracts to get the value off him in that way. This also plays around force negation quite a bit. So if Cameron doesn't leave up 3 mana here, we might see a really rough attack step from Cameron.
Really, really good cannon. As Anthony, you know, like, yeah, you do have to play around this force negation. As Cameron, you might not be able to cast any spells right now on your turn. Just out of respect for the Goryos.
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of wondering about it. That's what I was wondering about it last turn, like why he didn't, you know, cast the Scion, and then he wouldn't have put himself in this situation where like now he's casting Scion, and if Anthony has Goryos here, he can just do this into turn if he wants to, which, depending on how bad his hand is, which it looks like he's going to go ahead and cash something in here, this opens the door to be able to do this during Cameron's turn, and now he can't use force negation, which
yeah, this is no good if you're Cameron, especially like, let's say Anthony just hits, I don't know,
Grief.
Ephemerate, grief, like anything.
Oh,
yeah,
I see Ephemerate. Oh boy,
it's just too much value.
The shields went down for half a second, Noah, and that's all that it took.
Yeah, this deck looks really, really, really strong.
Yeah, the Goryo's Vengeance deck, even before the beginning, people were talking about it might have been the best deck in the format. And it's really flexing its muscles here this weekend so far that we've seen. So enchantment, sorcery, instant so far. So Supreme Verdict, Texas Spirit Realm, and Ephemerate are added. There's the creature. We got the Atraxa. And I wonder if he's going to keep the Marsh Flats or not. He can keep that as well.
I mean, almost certainly.
It's free real estate, right?
Yeah, might as well.
It's like technically literally interactive, like they wanted it to be. Yeah.
Dude, why did he keep attractions as Taru? Don't the cards go to the... Wait, it's bottom. Okay, that makes sense.
I think he already has the Sataru in his hand as well, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I think I spied one of those earlier, like one of his top decks.
Does he even have to cast Ephemerate here?
I don't think he has to. He might just do it. You know, like, why not? I think that's the bigger question is, you know, why wouldn't you? I'm sure there's some reasons not to, but I think he's going to go down 10 here off the Marsh Flats.
Oh, that's a Marsh Flats. I didn't even know what that card was.
Yeah, it's Marsh Flats. I don't remember what set that is. It's like one of the alternate ones. So it looks like Leyline Bite is going to kill the Atraxa in response to the Ephemerate. We're going to go back over to Anthony's way here for the main phase. That's fine. Yep. So does Anthony have enough to do his own turn? Ward off these double Scions.
Waiting actually would have been so hot, right? Because he did it on end step, so the track still would have been just like getting the, like paying 1 mana to like get the extra attack, or like, you know, like obviously you don't know that Cameron has the Leyline's Binding, but also like I don't know if you need to cast that Ephemerate anyways. There's so much value for Anthony. Like maybe it's just better to wait.
And there's a normal Marsh Flats, like what you're probably a little more used to seeing Noah getting, you know, fetched here. And there is a Supreme Verdict in Anthony's hand. Looks like that's what he's going to go ahead and reach for here.
Which is also quite good here.
Takes away all of Cameron's board here. Cameron is going to be in that same spot again where like he's going to have to find a threat to deploy here. Still got the force negation behind us as well. But I think there was a third Scion in his hand. Nope, that was not a third Scion. It was a Great Complete, it looks like. So, plus, yeah, he already drew. We got to go to the cleanup step for Anthony here. So go ahead and this Atraxa that's in hand. You want to keep at least some threats in your hand and some in the graveyard here. Try to play around in yours, make a tiny bit. Get the Mending going there as well, a little extra value. Back up to Cameron, you see that Charlotte's Angel at the front of his hand. Probably going to be the go-to play here this turn. Just add 10 power on the board. Having Arctic Complete in his hand means that he has an extra blue card here as well for the force negation.
Totally. It was actually a blue card was actually a good draw. I don't understand. I guess the clock doesn't really change, but it's just worse, right?
So yeah, the clock doesn't really change unless Anthony were going to use another fetch land.
Yeah, true.
You'd have 10 powers.
True, which is like kind of huge, like enough for fetch lands. I guess maybe Cameron was thinking he wants extra green card in hand for like a endurance or something, but I don't think that actually matters this game.
Yeah, maybe he's just keeping the green and blue card in his hand. I think it's a good way to think about it as well. More options.
Ooh, grief. That's huge. That's ginormous.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and get that force negation. Then the shields are down here.
Or you probably
Goryo's been just gonna land and
the Shardless, right? I guess it depends, right? Because yeah, the force negation is the better card, obviously. Taking the Shardless basically takes both of the cards. Wait, right? Like, and if you're playing and you're doing something with your mana this turn, like Goryo's or something, then I think it's just much better to take the Shardless Agent, because after this turn, the force negation is not going to be very valuable, but after this turn, the Shardless Agent is still decently good against it.
That's a really good point. Yeah. It looks like he's going to go ahead and shock the Hollow Fountain here. He's going to basically negate his Yard. He wants to go ahead and use that to get some creatures in the graveyard, but let's see if he wants to do this. What's a fairy? He's going to take care of one of those Rhinos and draw a card.
Oh, he's just going for the max value line again. He just loves, yeah, the old pass. Oh, don't got nothing to see here. No Goryo's here.
It's like the 4-mana pass with Collecting Company, and you're like, oh, I don't have anything. Go.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the Rhino. He's gonna play this really carefully. There's nothing you can do about this here. This is channel. He's gonna go ahead and blink the Rhino, which in fact kills it.
I don't mind it. Ooh, I like to play more now that he's doing Teferi, because now the Shardless Agent just didn't do anything.
Right.
You know, I don't mind Anthony's play at all. Actually, it's looking.
Oh boy.
I like it.
Yeah, if you do the Teferi line going behind this, makes much more sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, like both cards kind of get shut off when Teferi's in play, right? Like it's not like, oh man, like I'm so glad my opponent has a Shardless Agent and instead of force negation when my Teferi's in play. But
we're gonna go ahead and go through the motions here because he has to. Looks like we're gonna get a 2-2 for 3. We're playing Magic from 1994 here, Ella. I believe
Do you have to like force play or something?
Okay, we finally found one.
Whenever I would play Rhinos, I would always go like 1 or 2 cards too far.
Yeah. I'll choose not to cast that.
I love the player mics, by the way. Although everybody, I'm assuming people at home can hear him too. I know that you and I can hear it a little bit as well. I think it's awesome. We can hear the players kind of walk back and forth a little bit.
being able to hear a little bit what's going on is pretty sweet. Makes me feel like I'm right there.
Yeah, I know, right? Like we're like actually at the event, you know, birding these guys over their shoulder. Archaeologist gets played here, puts things in the graveyard. He's already up to the Teferi here this turn. An Ephemerate is added to the hand here as well. Looks like we're just gonna have a pass. He's got a Goryo's Vengeance set up. Got the Teferi in play, so the shields are completely up. One of those mystical disputes were drawn here that, like you were talking about, Noah, and just not great when there's Teferi on the other side of the board. Archaeologist just gonna step in the way here, keep that Teferi around. Looks like we're gonna get that end of turn Goryo's Vengeance here. So this is gonna go for Atraxa.
To be right, there's no way Atraxa is worse than
That's a blasphemous thing almost to say with the way Magic has gone in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to be drawing probably 4 or 5 cards here.
At least, yeah.
Anu with the great camera work here. Thank you, Anu. Going to get to see everything. Oh, look, Pest Control rears its head against it. There we go. We got Pest Control. Going to be the Sorcery.
Ephemerate.
Ephemerate.
Probably end up taking Grief. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could take
Grief
Solitude, actually. I just think it's an embarrassment of riches at this point for Anthony.
I think you could close your eyes, point at random cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the cards are just too strong. It doesn't matter what you take.
does look like Gristlebrand's going to be the
It's like,
choice.
sure, Gristlebrand, who cares?
And Polluted Delta is going to be the last one. This deck is blinged out for me, Anthony, over here, really testing me on what cards are what here.
Yeah, no, that is true. He's dripping over here.
There's almost no like very basic card in Anthony's deck. Thing is, you know, Japanese, alternate art, full art. I guess the new Surveil lands have been the only ones that have been like remotely normal in this deck, which I can appreciate. I love people that have dripped out decks.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's,
20 to
Attacking with the Atraxa here.
count 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, 13. They're really bad about that.
he must have paid some life with something if he was only going up to 13 years.
Land.
Life totals might be a little bit off right now, but I think those will be getting fixed up pretty soon. And I don't think it matters too much. Like, as long as Anthony's at more than 0 life here, he's doing pretty good.
So he's going to play a Polluted Delta here, then he's going to use that Plains of Blade to cast. That is an Ephemerate targeting Atraxa here, so we're going to do this all over again. Force a negation getting added to Anthony's hand here. Just, again, embarrassment of riches.
Like, these magic cards are just so powerful. It's just like,
Yes.
yeah, like, yeah, let me just find like a free counter spell and a free discard spell. And oh wait, yeah, like I can also like bring it back and like just all the cards in the deck are so potent.
Yeah, this is Legacy now, Noah.
Yeah.
This is Legacy Light. So that's
It really
great.
is.
It's going to go into suspend. Tons of cards in Anthony's hand here. He's going to have to actually clean that up just a little bit here. And it's going to be the turn. So he gets to sculpt the perfect 7. And pass back over to Cameron here. Is there a card that Cameron can draw here that can keep this game going? I don't know if there is. Or in reveal, definitely not it. Cameron's trying to think of the same thing we are.
I mean, like, what can you do? Nothing.
Once the Esper deck gets going, there's not a lot to do. Kind of like this Anthony, I think just decided not to attack Ephemerate. Yeah, I wouldn't.
He's like,
Yeah,
I would
whatever.
rather gain the life. He says. I don't need 4 more cards. Who
I'd
cares?
rather attack you. Yeah. Yeah. Right there with you, Anthony. Let's get this game over with.
Not like I get to play the game anymore anyway.
Hey, Cameron's right. It's not like I get to play the game anymore, but like, come on, like don't give up hope, buddy.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think. Let's see here.
I would already give up hope if I was Cameron. Let's be honest.
By the way, just a couple turns to the lead. Yeah, he did draw darts like a little table with terrain deck, which was nice an hour ago.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the Nefari's been in play the whole time, though, so, like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's just so tough.
Everyone's like, all right, go ahead. And Anthony just runs. Like, yeah, I'll put my Ephemerate on the bottom of my deck.
So what's this creature? What's this card in play?
Priest of the Fell Rites. It's a creature that you can pay 3 mana and sacrifice it, and you get to return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. I think it only activates as a sorcery, and then it has Unearth for I think 5. If I remember right.
It's
Again, been a while.
A spicy fun up over here.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't mind it. Just like just a 5th slow Goryos that like kind of plays around force negation and stuff. I don't mind it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can, like I said, you can unearth it later in the game too, so it's kind of like 2 copies as well. It plays well. Also, it's a black and a white card, Noah, so it pitches to both of your.
Exactly. I think that's really what it came down to. It's a black and white card. It's a creature that you can get off of Atraxa. It pitches to most of your deck and just
It does just enough in all of the things that need to happen in the deck.
Yeah.
Fetch down to 5, then the deck out. You can find that miracle top deck that we're talking about. I'm trying to think, what would we even get on this turn? I guess you could play Scion Draco, and there's nothing that Anthony could buy him another turn. I mean, you do have Reach.
There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a clean out for Cameron here.
Especially because doesn't Anthony have Solitude in hand as well? It's like you can't even possibly block this Atraxa if you wanted to. Oh, I think Cameron's going for the hard cast leyline over here. Yeah, you see that? You see that smile on his face? He's like, I'm ready.
I get to take this with me. This I get to do on camera. Hey man, you gotta keep your camera time too. I don't blame him. You can see it? Yes. Good mark it off your bingo card. He's gonna go ahead and draw. Oh, I'm disappointed.
Gracious Lord.
Oh no, I'm disappointed. Yay.
I was gonna say, I don't know if he had actually. Yeah, he doesn't have a second source of red or black. I think is the other thing too, right?
Oh,
you can
okay.
pay for green. Maybe. I was gonna say, I think he can cast it. Yeah. All right, looks like we got a block here. And he's gonna gain a bunch of life. Pass back over. I think this is what I'm
Round 2. Please finish your turn. Then take 5 additional turns.
Cameron really helping out. Better than me.
Coming out here. It might be from the Reed Duke school of Magic, where you never scoop.
Yeah.
Play it out.
I respect it. Totally.
He's got another endurance. They just keep showing up.
Jump blockers for days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think Anthony's like kind of loving his endurance stuff. He's like, yeah, I guess I'll never mill out now.
Again, we're going to target himself here instead.
30.
Go ahead and get a little sort of bail action for Anthony here. Get back into his turn. I think you might actually see him just try to actually win the game here. The turn last turn was kind of like, yeah, just attack you and try to win this game. But like, he might actually do something here to make sure it gets through and kills.
Yeah, cycling? That's so good.
Yeah, cycling? It does, Cameron. We were reading that the first time we read this card. Like, wait, this card cycles? It's kind of a homage to like old school stuff in Magic where our cards like this had cycling. Also, I think it helps on Arena, like best of one, you can have this card just kind of cycle away.
Yeah, I think that card is just so
Okay. Looks like another Teferi is going to go ahead and bounce the endurance, and that's going to make sure that the attraction gets through, kills Cameron. So Anthony moves up to 2-0. Cameron's down 1-1. Not out of the tournament just yet. Main Rhinos a very good deck, but man, did Goryo's Vengeance look really good here this round.
quite impressive deck. Honestly, very solid play as well from Cameron or from Anthony. I think there's only like that one turn in game one where I might have done something different, but I just think that clearly Anthony knows his deck well. Really taking his time on his turns and just getting max value. So well played from both players. Yeah,
exactly. It sounds like Anu got the cord issue fixed up, and it does look like we have a backup match, if I remember correctly. It looks like we do. It looks like we're going into. Are you sure this is game 2? Okay, so. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So we're going into game 2. Jared's up the game with Is It Surveil? Nice. I think really cool with the Inspired Spike. Kind of play this one a lot.
It's like not so
he gets to have the extra impact drop here. That black part, I think these are basics. That's really threw me for a minute here. No, I'm pretty sure those are the basics from. I forgot the name of the set. And it's okay. Looks here. Sleeves.
Yeah, they are.
We're keeping? Yeah. I have a pre-game action.
It's impossible to tell what they are until you use them.
I will.
Right.
Surveil. Yep.
Rhinos player. Looks like we're going to start playing.
Keep. Yep. Spire block.
Player. Let's have a Ragavan opening here as well. So player put down the Ragavan. It's a pretty good opening in modern. Meet and turn to Scion.
Good. Yep.
Yep. First real test. Can Jared get through this Scion?
I don't think I saw green, so I'm not too worried about Ragavan.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
it's looking a bit scary.
Okay, I can tell you which one that one is. That is an item.
Yep.
I think. Actually, now I'm not sure. That might be a mountain.
Yeah.
It might be.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna doubt myself a little bit here, but Silent Drake is gonna go ahead and tackle
I will
him.
grab a Surveillance and play it. Sure. Lorian, yeah. Lush Portico.
Field's gonna go ahead and he said he's gonna get a surreal land.
Actually, might as well guarantee the HP. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like an island.
Yep.
And you got it easy today, Noah.
Yeah. I just got the experts. I just got to sit back,
Yep.
I will keep.
kick feet.
Want to consider end of your turn?
The players have too much drip today, Noah.
Yeah, they are quite trippy.
Yeah. The Consider is going to go ahead and put Expressive Iteration into the graveyard. Go back over to Jared here. Fresh cards. So he's got an instant, he's got a sorcery. Does he have a way to find an Holy Heat and put it into his graveyard? Doesn't look like he does. Expressive Iteration from Jared here. Let's see if he finds a way to get rid of this Scion. This is creating his style quite a bit.
You would need fetch land, bobble, unholy heat to kill it. So
Does look like the
That's-
card's gonna. Yeah, sorry about that.
that's
Does look like the card's gonna
pretty
go to his hand and he's gonna follow it up with Surveil Land, and then I think he's keeping that on top.
I mean, playing a turn 1 Ragavan against a deck with all cards with mana value 3 or greater, and then on turn 2 just not being able to attack with it must feel so bad.
It is wild out here on the modern streets. Yeah, it looks like Jared's gonna go ahead and hey, you're gonna add 10 more
Good.
power. I can't even
I'm
deal
just
with the
gonna-
fire.
Yeah.
Let's save some time.
Like, yeah, Tad even had the force negation in hand, so like it was just.
Yeah, that's one of the draws why you see like you're like, oh, why are people still playing Domain Rhinos even with the banning? That right there is why. That's one of the draws that
Totally.
man, does that deck look unbeatable when it draws like that.
Totally. And I mean, you know, Ardent Plea, like, it's worse than Violent Outburst, but like, it's really not that much worse. Like, it's a blue card as well.
Thank you for asking.
It's fine.
I have 2. You got 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some spots obviously where like it really matters.
So, what is advantageous about putting the second Leyline in play?
I was gonna say, is there Surveil? I don't think they can bounce him, but maybe he has Brazen Borrower in his deck, so like now you just have the second one. It does keep you from having a card to pitch to some of your free spells. So that's something to think about as well.
Yeah.
Does Tan have a second land here? I think is the big question.
I didn't see one,
this
which
We are the back.
could make short work of this game if, you know, Tan misses that too. It's not really something you can do.
And here, look, I'm gonna keep up with this. That's a polluted Delta. That's in the graveyard for Jared as well. I think I'll surveil that.
End of your turn.
Second polluted Delta here.
As well?
Tan and Brass expert.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think Tan could fetch here. Like, I think this fetch is just. Like, I
think he
guess.
doesn't
Oh, I
have
guess
the
he can
second
surveil land.
Yeah, the
It's
surveil land is
tough, right? Because like
make it
before, the old like heuristic of like, should I fetch or should I not fetch when I'm looking for lands? Is like, well, you're just taking one land out of your deck. So like, even though, you know, it's not changing the percentages that much.
don't need that. Sure.
It was always
Tap.
a don't fetch. But now with the addition of surveil lands, it kind of makes it a bit closer.
Yeah, he drew a Misty Rainforest here, and so that helped out a lot, actually. He got to go ahead and bin the top card in the deck. So
So it's still on stack here. Consider? Sure.
So with this on the stack, he's going to go ahead and cast. Here's going to go ahead and cast Consider. I do see a subtlety in his
Draw
hand
that.
here. He's going to draw that one, he
I'm
says.
going to go to 18.
I caught a glimpse of it, Noah. I'm not 100% sure, but that might have been a Blood Moon. If he goes and gets Island here.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that might have been a Blood Moon. So subtlety into third land Blood Moon here might be a GG. We'll see. Okay, how does this work though? If Blood Moon comes into play, I don't. Okay, I'm not sure how that works, honestly.
So each non-land permanent you control is all colors. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. So does one even do anything?
I was gonna say maybe it doesn't even do anything. I don't even know if it is a Blood Moon or not. It was some red card. No, I could be wrong. It looks like subtlety is going to. I think that's a spell pierce that's getting pitched to subtlety here. Looks like that one's going to go to the bottom as well.
Too much time.
I'll keep him as tapped in the pass.
Prison
We've got a couple more threats here. I think another land came off the top for Boo here as well. Yep, Flutter Strand into the Scion. Oh, his counter spell. Okay, I'm not sure if that was the card on top or not. It looked really red in this game, the way the English camera was.
No, it did. That art is a little red looking, honestly. Fair assessment.
Expressive iteration here. So we can maybe find a threat for Jared. He's one of the things he's going to be looking for the most. Yep, or goes to him. Bobble is going to be the card. He gets to go play here. Exile.
Yep. Bobble shoulder.
There we go. Now he's going to play and get the surveillance. Island goes to the graveyard.
That's quite good.
Instant sorcery creature.
I'm pretty positive that gives him Delirium if he didn't have it before.
Yeah. I'd be really, really surprised if he didn't have Delirium.
Bobble here as well.
Shock and standards. 17? It's 16, yeah.
Jared's going to go ahead and shock the Steam that's here. 17.
Pass turn,
16.
So you're, end of your turn, I'm going to 18. I'll grab a surveil land. Yeah.
Jared has a draw step coming up here during Vu's keep. I think we spend more time in Modern now during during the fetching than we do with anything else. Because like most of the time you're fetching up a surveil land now, so you have to like
find
the one of specific surveil land that you're trying to get, and then the trigger goes in stack. You have to resolve that. Like, that takes up the predominant amount of time. Oh, third ley line found. That one's going to go ahead and get pushed away. What does the Rhinos player have in store? Or is player? Another sign of Draco here is going to be the play.
I mean, Scions are quite good.
So we have another subtlety here as well for Jared. Pitching expressive iteration. That one's going to go back on top. Can't blame Mr. Vu for that. You see there's no cards left over in Jared's hand.
16.
If you go ahead and shock here as well, I wonder what this is going to be for the last cards in hand. Hopefully it's going to be a pass.
So, Jared knows the top card? I assume that's why he didn't use the bobble? Or use the... Oh wait, sorry, he didn't plus... He cast suddenly non-huge spell.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like he's going to go ahead and play the bobble. He got to mill a card here. He's going to get to attack for 3 the Dragon Race Chandler, and he's going to have a draw step during. Keep there, so there we go. And Draco goes back to hand, and getting played right away. And the top card was a counter spell. You can see a little bit of a grin from Jared there. That was huge.
Wait,
the card on top as well.
10 shocked with this Steam Lester, no?
Yep.
For what?
Yeah, I was wondering myself the same. Does
Spell Pierce.
He has an Oda Ward in hand. Does it count like those achievements are legendary? Never mind. Okay.
They couldn't be, right? Because then how would
there's 2 in play. I was trying to figure it out myself.
Or wait.
He was trying to bluff. But like, what 2 mana spell are you bluffing? Like Fire Ice, maybe?
I don't get it.
Yep.
That's okay.
Draws up 3rd land here for a Rhinos player. So Jared went from being very far behind, no cards in hand, to being very far ahead of this game very quickly. So it looks like Odawara is going to go ahead and just buy a turn here after Vu. Chandler's going to put right back into play and pass it right back over to the Rhinos player. Here's the thing, that the clock isn't super fast, and there's a lot of really powerful top decks for the Rhinos player.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the good part about these games when you're playing a deck as powerful as Rhinos. Like, you could always just draw a card that
handled that one really well.
Bunch of power in play.
I wasn't expecting the triple answer.
I would have just kept don't have that much time though for 10 in this scenario. Like, he's kind of been taking a lot of hits from this Dragon's Race Chandler for a while now. Like, he's just on 3-turn clock, so he needs something much sooner than that.
I think you deserve it.
And Jared's actually building up cool cards in hand now, so.
And I think it's a Temple card that was just picked up, so no Surveil trigger there.
Second.
He's just going to say go yet again. Attack for a 3rd of Vu's life total here.
Mercy.
Is this another threat? Okay, now we're going to be threatening lethal here.
Not good.
Is that a mystical? I think I see a mystical dispute in Vu's hand here, which
Yeah.
there's 3 mana on Jared's side.
Yeah, you might just have to play it. Just
Yeah, I mean, like,
tap Jared out.
sure.
I think
Yeah, you're dead anyway, right? You're going to die with the spell in your hand most likely if you.
it's not great. It's not a good spot to be in. It's not looking like there's too much he could even do. Like he just needs a flyer right now, or it's GG.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and. I think that's a breeding pool. So it just got fetched up, tapped. Yep.
You know, your guess is as good as mine.
All right, so Fire Ice was found off the top of the deck, so that can at least hopefully
plays.
buy another turn.
It plays.
I'm gonna pass. Hold priority on your upkeep.
Yeah, so during the upkeep, he's going to try to cast Fire here. If there's any spell that's on there that can counter spell, that's probably the game. Well, okay, Mystical Dispute. And Lightning Bolt. Yeah, you in response, that should be enough for the game here as well.
I still have 2 surveil triggers, so there's like, I'm assuming let's say you're icing that one.
Yeah, there's a million surveil triggers on top of this.
There's 2 surveils. You're disputing this, I'm assuming in response to surveils, and then I'm bolting you in response to that.
So you would have 2 surveils.
And I have 2 surveils on the stack right now, correct?
Yeah.
We'll let the players talk this one out.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
I'll be 3.
These
put you at 2 actually.
these cams, or sorry, these mics at the matches is super awesome.
Yes,
Oh,
awesome.
6.
You
Oh,
fetch
that's
one more
right.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
Dispute resolves.
So down to 2.
And then 2 surveils off counterspell.
Yeah.
And that. Put that on top.
Okay.
Counterspell resolves.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Tap it down.
So now Ice is going to
Oh, yeah,
resolve,
yeah,
tap down
Counterspell
this,
did
and
not
I'm trying to think of
resolve,
what can he
just
draw
dispute.
here?
Sorry.
Another Fire Ice maybe?
I'll draw.
Yeah. Triple ley line.
Would be the 4th ley line,
then-
actually, I think,
and
right?
then-
I think
I'm
they were
assuming
saying
still
you
an
guys would be
upkeep,
the
I still have
3rd
draw
ley line. I
stuff.
think it might be the
Yeah,
4th one here. I think there's one in the
good to go.
graveyard.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh no.
Good.
Draw for turn.
Combat.
Yep.
3. Okay.
Good game.
Yep. And there we go. This Surveil
Ooh,
is
that
going
was
to be
close.
victorious
I'm
here.
gonna ley line.
Move
Oh
to
my god.
2-0.
on the
You know what?
top.
I love this
On
deck
top
from
ley
Jared. It's a
line.
really
So-
fun one to watch and a really cool one to see. So I'm kind of hoping we get to see a little more of Jared here in this tournament as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The game was like, it's tough because I just think his draws were so good that game. It didn't really matter what Tan did. Like, it's not that he didn't play well. It's just that the way his draws lined up against Tan's, it was just like, I don't think there was anything Tan could have possibly done.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Well, if you're enjoying the coverage so far today, make sure you don't go anywhere. We're going to take a really small break. We're going to have some Wordle for you. We'll be back with more Magic the Gathering.